Dog, I heal so hard. I don't even have nobody to text right now, which is crazy because I never thought I'd feel this way. But you know what? I'm all for it. So these are all the things that I realized, you know, kept me insecure as a man. Everything from how my performance at work was tied into how productive I was to, you okay, buddy? It's my dog. To dating, to how you feel about yourself on a daily basis. And these things show up in a bunch of different ways, right? So now all of the videos that I've ever watched all make sense about getting in the gym and leveling up and doing all these things. But the key part that they miss out on, or they forget to mention, or rarely mention for that, is that doing all of it is still seeking validation. Now, the hack to it is that I realize is it's less about seeking validation and just addressing your insecurities. So for me, in my example, let's say I was insecure about losing my hair, right? So I shaved my head, I buzzed my head. You know what? Let's actually start right now. And I was insecure about not having hair. So I just went down the list and it only took me 60 days. 60 days, I promise you. 60 days to be in a much better place. And I started doing little things to address every insecurity I had, whether it was another one would be like, let's say I wanted to get a full sleeve tattoo. And I was always insecure about like these tiny little stretch marks that I have right here from lifting weights and getting bigger, right? These are all things, it's kind of hot, but y'all get what I'm saying. These are all things that I was insecure about. You know, I would never really wear certain shirts because it wasn't flattering. And I was like, no, I got to look my best. Or if I wanted to go out to eat and it was like a little rinky dink restaurant, I would go, nah, Josh doesn't roll like that. We should go here instead. So all of these things are still attention seeking and validation seeking. And it all comes from being insecure of not feeling good enough. And if you actually take a step back and look at the behaviors that you're exhibiting, it's just feedback from the universe, right? If you don't like how you feel, let's say when you go to the gym, right, and you pick a little section where no one is near you because you kind of don't want to be seen, that's a sign of insecurity. That's very different than walking into a space realizing that it's crowded and you don't want to be bothered and you just want like your own space because you walk into it fully accepting the space, meaning you're okay with being seen. You're just doing your own thing. That's very different than, damn, there's a whole lot of people here. There's some baddies here. There's some big dudes. You know what? Let me just go stick over here and do my own thing, right? And you'll notice this because when you go to the gym, let's say if you're working out and you see someone who you think is insecure, the minute you go into their section, they're gonna probably move away and go, "Hey, no, you can use that. I'm not done using." These are all little micro things. So my challenge for you is, if you're a man and no one is really talking about these things, everybody just talks about, "Hey, go hit the gym, get muscles, get money, do the whole nine," but no one really talks about addressing still feeling insecure and not good enough. And what's worked for me is the feeling of not being good enough is very valid, right? We experience that with sports, with women, with work, with our friendships. But the key to it and winning that exchange is you want to make yourself likable for yourself. That means you like being with yourself. And when you like being with yourself, other people will like being with you. And that does not mean be performative. That means you actually enjoy your life. And I enjoy my life. I have my dog. I live in Dominican Republic. My life is so peaceful. I have nobody to text. And when you have nobody to text and no one to impress, there's no expectations. And when there's no expectations, you can just fully be yourself. 24/7. That means if I feel like eating this, I'm gonna go here. If I feel like pushing myself in a workout, I'm gonna push myself. If I don't feel like working out, I'm not gonna work out. But when you remove the expectations and you start to fully address those insecurities, you'll realize they were all in your head. You know, whether it's public speaking or a cold approach with a woman, it's all in your head. So if you practice when you're by yourself and there's no audience, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go talk to that girl and not be, tied to the outcome. All of these little things are gonna start to stack in your brain, And then you're going to become someone who follows through on things. And once you start becoming that person that follows through on things, you'll be able to see everything very clearly. From people who are looking for attention, right? The girl who's half naked, the dude who's super flashy, the dude that's running around with the windows all the way down, blasting music. These are all signs of attention seeking, validation seeking, and look at me energy, right? And that's not the kind of energy we want in 2026. We're protecting our peace, right? Dating is already complicated enough. Life is already hard enough. We got inflation. We got trying to figure out what we're going to do for our career, more stability, retirement, vacations, hanging out with the friends, and doing your hobbies. And making and being insecure is only going to limit every single one of those things. When you're insecure, it affects everything. It affects the way you dress, the way you hold eye contact, the way you walk into spaces, the way you interact with people. So that's my challenge for you today, and it's a journey that we're going to be on for the rest of our lives. So the sooner we start accepting those insecurities and realizing, hey, no one really cares, and two, I can only control what I can control, you'll be in a much better place. At least for me, that's what's worked for me. I've been in tip top shape, I've been in out of shape, and the main thing that's kept me going is the minute I started addressing my insecurities, that's when I fully felt like I could be myself everywhere I went. Whether it was, hey, do you want to go here? Nope, that's not really my vibe. I'm not going. Like, instead of trying to force myself to go somewhere because I felt like I needed the look or I don't want to lose this friendship or relationship, it's all about alignment. So that's the word of the day, alignment. Does it align with who you are currently? And does it align with who you want to become in the future? Meaning, if you want to be more confident, you want to fully be yourself and be authentic, those are the two questions that I ask myself. Maybe you should try it. Does this align with who I am? And does this align with who I want to become in the future? So these are all things that I think a lot of men just don't really talk about. A lot of ways that we're just insecure with our physique, some men with their height, me with my hair, um, with their income, with their stability, with their ability to be funny and be on. All of these things are just ways to divert attention from just actually being yourself and being okay with not everyone liking you, which is great because then you'll naturally filter out people who won't drain you. When you are constantly seeking attention and trying to hide your insecurities, you are still performing in the circus. It's just in a different way because you're diverting the attention. But when you go home and you put your head down and you have to take your hat off, right? And you have to look at yourself in the mirror, these are going to be all things that you're going to have to still live with. So why not embrace it and really bring it 100%? That's why we love authentic people, because they're 100% themselves. When I see a dude who's middle aged and bald and he doesn't even care to shave, he has like the little thing from like Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, and he has that little thing. I love him because he doesn't care. And the sooner we realize that no one cares and we like him because of his ability to create funny, compelling TV, and that's way more important than him having hair, you can apply the same thing. If you're struggling with whatever, fitness, women, money, work, as long as you take a step back and you can address the insecurities and you can realize why you're doing the things that you're doing, everything will make so much more sense. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. So my challenge for you is give yourself 60 days. 60 days to challenge yourself and think about all of the little things that you do that is from a form of insecurity, right? The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you ask for things. And observe and make a mental checklist, and then little by little you just start knocking one thing down, and then the more confident you get and the more you believe in yourself as a person who follows through on things, all of these little insecurities will start to go away and you won't really care about them as much, and then you'll be a happier, healthier version of yourself. 2026, man, that's all we on. Heal so hard, I got nobody to text, and we're happy with it, man. We're happy because we have nothing but energy and mental clarity to really focus on becoming the best version of ourselves for us, not for anyone else. because I do it because I feel good. I feel accomplished when I go to the gym. I feel great when I wake up and I shave and it's a perfect shave. And I don't care if anyone's going to see it. I do it for me. And once you start moving like this, the universe will open up and people will start being kinder, gentler, nicer to you in every way, shape, or possible because you'll be actually be able to notice it. That's all I got for you guys today. If anything in this video resonated with you, hit the like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.